içerikler oluşturabileceğiniz ve çok rahat kullanımı olan bir ürün. Bugün Anton bize güzel anlatımıyla bu içerikleri nasıl oluşturabileceğimizi anlatacak. Hoş geldiniz. Hi Anton.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm good. It's snowing in Ankara.
Oh, that is not fun. It's cold but nice weather in Berlin, Germany, where I am.
Yes, it's great. So can you please introduce yourself?
Oh, absolutely. Hello, everybody. It is so good to see you. My name is Anton Bollen. I'm a customer success manager and trainer for TechSmith, the company that makes Camtasia as well as Snagit. I've been working for the company for 20 years. I have a lot of experience in training and instructional design, and I really love a good training video. And I'm really happy to share with many of you today how you can create training videos using Camtasia. Before I do that, though, I would like to maybe say one or two more words about TechSmith, the company I work for and the one that makes the product, because it's important to know that TechSmith is an American software company that has been around for 30 years. We've been doing this for a long time, and we have a lot of experience, which you can tell when you use our products. These were not developed overnight, right? And all of our products, Camtasia as well as Snagit, are made to help people like you communicate, train, and document better. They allow you to show what you know and create training videos, instructional pamphlets, and other kind of media from it. But that's all I want to say about TechSmith. If that interests you more, I'm sure the nice team from Vedubox will help you out. For now, back to you, Meral.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yes. So let's start from scratch. How can you create a training video with TechSmith Camtasia? Can you show us?
Absolutely. And I'm really glad we are starting from scratch, because that's where most of you, dear audience, are starting from. So I will go very much back to not quite the beginning, but to the beginning. So let me share my slides real quick. There's only 4 or 5 of them. It goes quick, and then we will get into Camtasia. Hello, everybody. Before we go and take a look at Camtasia, there's one thing I wanted to mention. Camtasia is a video editor. That means you can use it to edit all types of video. Yes, it's really good for training and learning videos, but you're not restricted to that. You can also edit marketing videos, or I edit videos with my kid where he dresses up like a knight, and we have a lot of fun doing that. So just keep that in mind, that Camtasia opens up more video opportunities beyond training videos. And for you to be able to use Camtasia like that, I like to share that, or mention that Camtasia has a built-in screen recorder. You will see that live in just a minute. And that is fantastic, because you can capture the information and your knowledge that is on your screen. And you can add that into Camtasia for editing to make your video out of that. But you don't have to use just screen recordings. And that's important here. You can also add camera video like I'm doing right here. Or you can import other video and media files that you have. Maybe you have a video you recorded with your phone. Yes, you can edit that with Camtasia. Maybe you have some icons, graphics, or logos that you want to import as image files. That is no problem. You can add your own music or outside voiceovers if you have maybe someone else record the audio file, or if you use speech generation for that. And you can also record and import PowerPoint files. So if you have anything that you're teaching or training on right now in PowerPoint, you can take those slides and that presentation fairly simply and turn that into a video using Camtasia, because it is that flexible editor that I was mentioning. And because of that, just to show it one last time, it's great for all kinds of video. Okay, that said, what are we doing today? Well, Meryl asked me that we should create a training video from scratch. And my example for today is a made-up fake cloud application. It's a dashboard. You'll see that in just a second. So, as a trainer or instructional designer, what would I do? What would you do if you had to make the video? Well, it starts fairly simple. So first up, I need to move this out of the way. Here we go. So first up, I, of course, bring up the application or the information I need to record and document. And this is the fake website. You can see it's a dashboard. It has some lorem ipsum data in it. That's what I need to train, okay? And then, because I'm a trainer, I wrote myself here in Microsoft Word a little script just to plan a little bit what I want to say in my video. And I would imagine if you're making your own videos, you often plan a script, or at least you write down, you know, a couple of points on a piece of paper of what you want to say. And that is important to make sure that your video is effective and to the point, and you don't get too lost with all the details. All right, I have the script, I have it laying next to me. I have the application I want to document ready that I need to train. And so now it's time for me to open up Camtasia. And I will open up the Camtasia home window first. This one right here. This is what most users see the first time they open up Camtasia. It's one place where you can access many big or important features. So first up, you can start a new project. If you have an old project, you can open that already. And really important, you can start a new video recording from right here. You can also access some of the other applications that TechSmith makes, like Snagit, if you need like an image or an audio capture, but we'll stay with the main capture right here because that's part of Camtasia. On this home screen is one more section that I really want to show you. Yeah, and that is found on the left side. Take a look. There are different tabs. Getting started is where we are now. And if you click on the Learn tab, it will show you some of the learning materials that exist for Camtasia that you can use to learn how to use Camtasia. We have tutorials on our website. They're all 4 or 5 minutes long. There's quite a few that teach you all the different aspects of the tool. We have monthly webinars where another trainer just like me will teach you how to use the product. And we even have like mini courses and challenges. So if you are using Camtasia and want to learn how to use it, or if you want to improve your skill, take a look at the learning resource found in the home screen and follow up on some of these links because it's really, really good stuff that's actually helpful. For now, let's go back to our example. And I said I want to make a recording. So on the home screen, I'm going to click on recording and I will see the Camtasia recorder next. This is the application that I can use to record my screen. And for doing that, I need to disable my camera in Zoom for just a second so I can turn it on in Camtasia. 1 second. All right. My main camera should be gone, but now I can choose the recording options that I need. And I can turn on my camera in Camtasia because I want to record myself as the trainer. I also want to record my screen. And here I have an option to choose whichever part I want to record. And in my example, I just want to record my entire screen because I'll be showing that dashboard full screen. So I'll stick with this standard option and I'm good to go. I also want to record my audio, right? The things I'm saying. So here under the microphone option, I can make sure that the right microphone is connected. And I'm glad I checked because I wanted to use my Yeti. And now I'm ready to start my recording of my dashboard. So what do? I bring up the application I need to record one more time, like this. And then I click on the big red recording button to record my screen, my camera, and my audio. And it goes a little bit like this. Hello and welcome to this tutorial. Hello and welcome to this training video. I will teach you how to use the dashboard to generate a user report. First, please log into the dashboard. Once you see the dashboard, you should see a new option called Reports on the far left side. Please click on it. The Reports page will open. Here you can choose the desired style for your graph. I usually recommend the bar graph. Next, choose the date range for your recording. And then all you need to do is click on the big Generate Report button to generate your report. The user report will show up and you can preview it and you can use the options at the top of the screen to download, share, and edit the report. And that's it from my side. thank you for watching, and until next time. All right, so now I'm going to bring up Camtasia one more time, and I will click a stop button, which will now stop the recording and open up that particular recording in Camtasia. I'm also going to turn on my camera in the webinar software again, so all of you can hopefully see me. Okay, here I am. Cool.
Yes.
Great. So here we are now. This is Camtasia. We just made a recording, and now we're ready to take that recording to the next level. Let me give you a quick overview of what we have here in front of us. The recording I just created was automatically added in the so-called media bin. That is the section right here, which can also be accessed from here. And this is where you collect all the different pieces that you want to add to your video. So if you have other icons or videos, you can add them to the media bin. And I will do that right now. I have a logo I want to use later. So I can go ahead and I can do a click on this little plus, and I can import more media, more pieces that I want to be using in my video. Yeah, and you can see I can choose different videos if I wanted to. But as I said, for this example, I have on my desktop a folder in which I created which I added the logo for Vedubox, just as an example. And I can bring this in, and now you can see that it's been added to the media bin. The elements in the media bin are not in my video yet, because to make my video or to construct and build my video, I have to take the pieces from up here and I have to add them down here onto my timeline, which is this element with the different tracks. That's where I need to arrange the different pieces, yeah, for them to show up in my video. And I'm going to show you that just one more time. I'm going to delete them from down here because that was done automatically. And now with an empty project, if I want to start by adding this recording, I can click, hold, and drag it, and I will simply add it to my timeline. And I should see, right, a preview here in the middle on the so-called canvas, and I have the tracks down here. The recording I created is separated into two elements. Yeah, well, let me move those up one so you can see them a little bit better. And that is one of the advantages of Camtasia. Camtasia records your screen intelligently. So we try to separate the different objects so you have more control of them afterwards. So in this case, Camtasia recorded my screen as one element, right? The stuff I was showing. And it recorded my camera and audio as a separate element. And this is nice because I can move and adjust them independently from each other. And that is often something that trainers or people who make videos want, that flexibility. Okay. The video is, as I said, being placed here on the timeline. We're seeing a preview of it here in the canvas where, as I already kind of showed you, you can also move some elements around and resize them, which is very similar to PowerPoint. So I hope it's easy for many of you to learn how to do that. As a next step, I think I need to, as a next step, I want to take a look at my recording and make sure I remove all the big mistakes that I made. So let's go back to the beginning with the so-called play it, and I'm going to play it back and you should hear what I'm hearing. Hold on. Hello and welcome to this tutorial. Hello and welcome to this training video. I will teach you. Okay, so you heard the first mistake I made, right? I was sick yesterday. I'm still a little in my throat. So at the beginning, I made a speaking mistake. That is no problem. I can take Camtasia. It has this playhead, this little green, gray, red icon, and I can take it and I can make a selection. And I'm selecting the first few seconds that I don't need, the ones with a mistake. Yeah, they are now pretty well selected. And then I have in Camtasia on the top a series of editing tools, including the scissors. And then with a little cut, snip, I can cut out the first couple of seconds that I had selected. And if I listen to my video now, it should start with the right portion. Hello and welcome to this training video. I will teach you how to use the dash perfect. So I removed my first mistake. I know the video was going okay, but I know I also made, oh, you can even see, right? I was coughing again. That silly sickness from yesterday. But that is no problem because I will simply try to find the spot where I made the mistake and remove it the same way. Let's do it. I usually recommend the bar graph. Next, next, choose the date. Okay, so right here, this is where I said next, then I started coughing. So again, I will use the green, gray, and red playhead, and I will make a selection. And when I cut it out, please pay attention. It will remove video from both tracks. It will remove my audio. It will remove my camera for those couple seconds, but it will also cut out my screen recording. And that is done on purpose because I want the rest of my video to stay synchronized. So when I'm talking about the bar graphs, that my mouse cursor points to the right information. And if I would only cut something out of one video and not the other one, they could potentially get out of sync. It's also quite easy to fix that or separate them separately if you do want them separated. But for this basic example, I wanted to keep them a little bit together. So let me go to the end of the video. And I know I have a few more things to say at the end and then that I need to remove. So let me find the end real quick. Until next time. All right. Okay. So here I say until next time, and then my video ends. So I don't need those last few seconds. That's when I was talking to the audience again and talking about the stop button in Camtasia. No problem. I could do the same as I did before, green and red handle, make a selection. But in this case, I'm going to show you just a different way of doing it, which I really like. You can also take the edge of a clip and simply trim it to remove the information you don't want. And I will do the same for my screen recording because I don't need the last few seconds of that either. And yep, that's another way. This trimming is another way of editing down the information that you have. And I could imagine that someone might ask or be asking themselves, if I cut something out, is it gone forever or can I get it back? And the good news is you can really easily get it back. So if I go back to this edge right here and I decide, oh, I actually want a little bit more, I can simply go to it, click and drag, and you can see, especially by the audio waves, that I'm restoring the rest of my video again. So you can always bring things back that you cut away, so you don't have to worry about losing things forever. Okay, so now with that done, we now have a very, very basic training video that teaches my users how to click on the reports option to generate a graph. We removed all the mistakes. It's okay, but let's do better. Let's make it a little bit more impressive and professional. So as a next step, I'm going to show you something called the library in Camtasia. The library is found right here on the left side by the effects. And if we go into the library, you will find a library called Camtasia 2022. And this is part of Camtasia. Yeah, when you get Camtasia, you get the library. And it includes a lot of media elements you can use in your own videos. So if you need audio, you have lots of different audio tracks you can add. If you have different shapes, callouts, emphasis effects, it's really cool. It's best to just kind of look through and see what some of that looks like. Yeah, these are really cool for like emphasizing where to click, for example, but I don't actually need one of those like emphasize effects right now. The one I want first is a title. I want to introduce my video with a professional looking title, and Camtasia has a couple built in. In that library, if you go to the very bottom, you find titles, and in the titles folder are lots of different titles you can use, and you can preview them with a double click, right? So this is kind of like a blue slide in effect, kind of nice. But the one I want is, I think I saw it. It's not the mail title sequence. It's the, here we go, the boxy video title. That's the one I like. So I can take this element from Camtasia and I will add it to my timeline on the bottom, oops, right here on the top. And I will move it to the far, far left because I want it to start at the beginning of my video. Yeah. And we can already see this effect is now added as a new element. And I can, if I go over it, I can see how it plays, and then my actual video starts. So let's take a look at this one more time in a little bit more detail. I can select the element from Camtasia and I can change the text. So I can say this is dashboard reports is the name of my video. It's maybe part of a training series. Yeah, so I can change that text really simple to what you need, or what you can change it to what you need. I won't change it for you. And what's really nice is I have control over the colors at the bottom. No, and I can choose, and I can change them to, I can change them to green, to different green, or I can store my own corporate colors in Camtasia. And this is something that might be really beneficial for some of you. Right? I created a color profile for Vedubox in my computer on my Camtasia, and I now have the different blues and grays accessible, and I can select them with a simple click. So I can make this light blue and maybe this elbow blue, gray, and the vibe will make white. And now I took this element from Camtasia, and by simply changing some of the colors and giving it the correct title, I was able to create a customized intro that looks like it's more or less on my corporate brand. And that is a huge time saving that Camtasia can give you. It has the elements that you need in the library, and it's quite simple to adjust them so it looks like the way you want. Yeah? Let's actually take a look and listen to this for just a second. Hello and welcome to this training video. I will teach you. Okay. So I don't like that my audio is starting to, that I start talking before the intro is only halfway done. But this is happening because I have, on this track, I have my screen recording and my video, and my title is simply laying on top of it. So in order to put them after each other, I can simply take the two tracks on the bottom, and I simply slide them a little bit to the right. And you can see already with those yellow lines, it's quite easy to snap them into place. And now my video starts with the intro, and then it goes into the screen content, right? So it's a little bit nicer way of doing that. But let's keep going. Because when I make my training videos, I think it's important to not only show the basic information, but to help the learner understand where to look and what is going on. And we can use some of the special effects in Camtasia to really help to train. Let me show you. We start the video and we say, please log in. And the login button is right here. And well, the information that's relevant is really in the center. So maybe I don't need to show the entire screen. So what I can do in Camtasia, let's say at this point in time, I want to zoom in a little bit to draw the attention to the login button. And it's so simple. I go to this point in time where I want to zoom in, and I will go into the animations pane on the left side in Camtasia. And don't worry, I told you about the training videos. You can learn how to do all of that in detail in those videos. But yes, I am at this point in time where I want to zoom. I'm in animations, and I go to the zoom and pan option, which is at the top. And now it's really simple. I have this preview window right here on the left side. I hope you can see that. And once I click, drag, and hold, I can use that to really zoom in on the element I want to show, which in this case is maybe, well, more of the center area, correct? And now let's take another look at this. The video starts with hello and welcome to the dashboard. Please log in. And we're zooming in, and it's much clearer to see where we are, what we are showing. Now, you might have noticed that my zoom right now impacted my screen recording as well as me, the video of me. Yeah, I'm zooming too, and I don't want that. I want to be the trainer in the corner. But that's quite simple. When I added my zoom effect, I got these so-called keyframes added. Yes, Camtasia can do keyframes if you know what those are. And if I don't want the keyframe on both elements, I can simply select the one I don't want. And I'm going to delete it using the delete key on my keyboard. Boing. And now we only have a zoom effect on one track. And now we zoom in. The trainer stays in the same spot, but the information in the background are easier to see. Let's do that one more time. Right here, I want to highlight that we need to click on the reports option on the left side. So I want to zoom there one more time. And I'm already set up to do it, but I just do one little thing. Since I know I don't want to zoom the camera, I only want to zoom the track 2. I can lock this. And now when I do my animation with my zoom and pan, and I adjust this window just a little bit more, you can tell that it's just adjusting my screen recording, and my camera recording is not impacted because it was locked. And so now, is that good? Let's bring it in a little bit closer. Here we go. We really want to make that option nice and big. So let's keep going through the video. We zoom in, we draw the attention to the login button. We show the reports option they need to click on. And now we're maybe at a point of time where we need to zoom out again because we want to show the styles. We need to show the calendar. And it's just as simple. And I love showing it because it's so quick. We're at the right point in time. I'm in animations. I go to my preview window and I simply make this a little bit bigger and have it go around the area I need. And Camtasia automatically zooms out for me to this viewpoint. Everything is nice and visible. They click on generate report. And then maybe at the very end, I want to zoom out one more time and show the entire desktop. So same story as before. I'm at the same point in time. Animations, zoom and pan. And I can drag this to the full size that I want, or simply choose scale to fit, and it'll show my full screen again. So with just a couple of clicks, I took my normal screen recording and I added 4 different zoom effects that help me guide the learner to the login button, to the option on the left, to the option on the right, etc., etc. So that is one really nice and powerful effect in Camtasia. Let me keep going with the next effect. Time check, perfect. Okay, next up, I'm going to, once we've logged in, I actually want, and we're clicking on the reports option here on the left side. There are often situations where you want to highlight that a little bit more. And for that, Camtasia gives you a tool called annotations right here on the left side. And I click on it and it's kind of speaking bubbles, arrows, different type of arrows, boxes, shapes, there's blur effects, there's some like animated cool things and even keyboard shortcuts. And in this case, if I want to say, hey, user, please click on this reports option, I can go in here and I can choose, there's lots of sub styles too. I don't want to show everything right now because it's a bit much, but I will take this one and I will click, hold and drag it. And I can either drag it here to my timeline or I can drag it straight to my canvas. Yeah, and now it becomes a visual element, just like you might know from PowerPoint. I can, of course, double click it and add some text, like click here. I can resize it. I can make it bigger. I can make it smaller. And of course, I can turn it or make it kind of at an angle if that's what I want. Let's position it right here. And what's also important, of course, I can change the color. And for that, I must simply select the object, go into the properties on the right side. And here we have text properties if I want to change the font, or I have visual things if I want to change the color. And again, if I wanted to, I can go in here and I can either fine tune a color, or I can use one of the predefined company colors which is called a color theme. So let me do this. And now it's in that nice company blue, which is really, really nice. Okay, and users, okay, let's take a look at this. The audio says, please click on the reports option. The mouse cursor is making its way there. The blue arrow shows up. This is nice. But then we click on the option and the blue arrow is still visible for a few extra seconds. And you may or may not want that. And so I want to show you real quick how easy it is to shorten or to lengthen elements. I taught you about trimming earlier, which is taking things from the edge. I can do the same with a callout. So if I wanted to end earlier, I simply take it and I drag it to the left to the point in time where I want it to stop. And if I wanted to show up a little bit earlier, I can also simply move it to the right or to the left. And now the callout or the arrow is showing up from here to right here. And maybe that's still a little bit long. Perfect. Okay. And yeah, and so these elements are really nice because they help you learn, or you can give your learners more instructions, or you can add more important information on the screen, maybe learn this or important facts, right? Maybe things that were not part of your screen recording. And those are really, really powerful for learning videos. And they've been in Camtasia for a long time and they're not going away. Okay, quick sip of tea. My throat is going away a little bit. Oh, cool. Let me show you a couple more things that we can use to make this video more exceptional. You might have already noticed that as I'm going through my video, I had this mouse cursor, and this mouse cursor is kind of going like this. Do you see that? It was not following a very nice straight line. And that's something that Camtasia can fix. So let me show you. I'm selecting my screen recording. I'll go back to the beginning, actually. I'm selecting my screen recording right here. And I'm going into the properties on the right side. We have some properties for the size of my recording. But if it's a Camtasia screen recording, you will also see this option for cursor. And that's part of that screentology or screen intelligence that I was talking about. Camtasia records the cursor separately, and it allows you to edit and manipulate and make it better. So let's take a look. We have our mouse cursor right here. If I wanted to, I could actually make it a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. But here too, it's already a little bit larger than my system. So I think this is okay. Well, actually, let's make 250. Why not? I like 250. Good. What I really wanted to show you, though, is this option. Edit cursor path. Let me click on it and enable the default setting. Boom. I will now get a motion path for my mouse cursor. And I can go through my video and you will see what is happening. Yeah, it's showing me all the spots where my mouse cursor is going to go. And, you know, it doesn't make sense for my mouse cursor to go down here and then up there and then over. It would be nicer if it goes from here a little bit straight to reports, right? This is a little bit, well, the zoom is kind of distracting, but you get the idea. So what I can do with this, which is really, really nice, I can simply take these points and adjust them. I can even go ahead and delete them if I don't want one of those points. And so now my mouse cursor should move nice and smoothly over to the reports option, and it's visible the entire time, and that looks so much nicer. So this path or cursor path editing feature it allows you to fix your recordings. It allows you to make them easier to read. If you have any option where some people use their mouse like this when they record, they do a lot of, right? You can fix all that really easy with Camtasia. And so that's it's a very, very nice feature. Yeah. Okay, so that is the cursor path editing. I am going to finish the editing of the cursor path. So now my new cursor path is saved and my mouse cursor is moving the way I want it. And it's a little bit bigger, which also helps it or makes it easier to see it. While we're on the cursor, let me show you just one more thing. On the left side, we have a bunch of different effects. And if you click on more, you will always see more effects because they don't all fit here. And under cursor effects, we also have the option for you to create a new cursor on maybe a picture that you have, which is completely else. There's a tool that helps you smooth out your cursor automatically, which just helps you look better. And we have those classics like the yellow highlight. And if you want to add any of these effects to your videos, it's quite simple. Click, hold, and then you can drag it onto any screen recording. So I can put it right here. And now, for example, I added a yellow highlight to my screen recording, and we can go through this and we should see, the yellow curl or the yellow effect is visible the entire time. And what I really like about Camtasia is that it's flexible. So we can also go in and change that yellow highlight. If I scrub down in the properties, we can make this blue and a little bit smaller and a little bit less compact. And maybe this looks a little bit nicer, at least for this passage. I think it might change to yellow again. Yep, that's a nuance of my animations. But I wanted to show you that you have the option of editing those to what you want and to save and define your own style. Okay, let me take a look at the clock. I'm going to try to finish my video up in the next 5 minutes. So I do need to go minimally faster. Let me go back to my beginning. We have our nice intro now, but I feel like I want to show my company throughout the entire video. And for that, earlier today, I imported the Vedubox logo as a graphic, a PNG. And this could be any picture that you import. And it's quite simple to add them to Camtasia. I simply take it, I drag it, and I put it on a new track. And now I can take it, I can make it smaller. I can position it where I want it. So let's put it, here we go. I can put it in the corner where I want it. And just like before, I want to make sure that it's visible for my entire video. Yeah, so I can take this and I can drag this on to the very end. And that is a very simple way to add your branding or any image to a video. And this looks good. I will do one more thing with it. I reselected the logo. I'm going into the properties, and under opacity, I'm setting this down to 75%, simply so it's a little bit transparent and it looks a little bit more like a branded watermark. I think this looks pretty nice, and it's a really fast way of doing that, isn't it? Okay, let me go on, because there's one more thing I want to talk about. Me, no, I want to talk about this guy, the trainer video. I need to unlock this track so I can actually select him. Right now, the trainer is visible the entire time, and that is okay. But you don't have to do that, and you don't have to keep them in this shape. So what I often do is I can select this video, and there is a cutting or a trimming option at the very, very top. It's just cropping. That's what it's called. I apologize. And when I enable this, I can take my clip and I can actually cut away the edges a little bit, so I'm more of a square. Perfect. That is step one. Step two are the so-called visual effects. These are found on the left side, and here you will find a lot of cool things. They're a little bit more advanced, and they really help. They're almost, right, this is also like marketing people love this stuff. But I will do the following. I have an effect here called corner rounding. Yeah, take a look. There's all kinds of different things in your color changes, etc. But I will take corner rounding, click, hold, and drag, and I'm going to drop that onto the video of the speaker. Boom. And it doesn't look like much, but the edges got a little bit rounded. And so I'm selecting it one more time. I go into properties, and now it's quite simple to increase the corner rounding and make that look a little bit nicer. If I wanted to instead, I could also work with a green screen. If I wanted to, instead of removing the corners, if I really wanted to just remove the entire background, I could do that as well. For this, I'm going to disable that. But I just want to show you that you have the flexibility with the speaker video to move it and place it, hide it, and do all of that as well. Cool. Two more things I wanted to add to our training video in the next 2 minutes. The first thing is music. Sometimes people really like music. I like music in my videos. And Camtasia has that built-in library. And I will go to the very top into the audio folder. And there's a couple of different ones, but let's go with Tuesday Vibes, even though it's Wednesday. Okay, maybe not. Okay, I like this one, Thinswave. I will take this element and I will add it to my video, and it will be added to a new track. This is okay. Let's listen to it one time, because I'm going to show you something really cool. Hello and welcome to this train. The music plays in the background, but it is a little bit loud, isn't it? I need to make sure that the music is quiet and that the speaker can always be heard, the instructions. And there is some advanced audio editing, but I want to show you the easy way. We go on the left side and we need to find the audio options. And if you don't see them here, we can just go under more audio effects. And there's something called emphasize. And that allows you to emphasize the important audio track, which right now is my speaker audio. So I will take it, click, hold, and drag. I will place it on myself, boom. And this effect was added. And what the effect does is it will automatically make the music quiet when I start talking. Let's listen to it one more time. Hello and welcome to this training video. I hope you could hear that okay. The music got quieter. And I'm now you can now hear me quite well. And so my video has music in it. Right now, the music goes on for way too long. So at the end, I would probably try to make a split right here, which means I'm cutting this track into two, and I can delete the end. And now my music stops when also my video stops. So that's pretty nice. And now we have music that is adjusted to my voiceover with just one or two effects using that emphasize. Okay. And last thing I will show, and then I will produce the video. In Camtasia, you have the option to add quizzes to the video if you want to ask your learners some questions. And you can do that by going to, well, anywhere where you want to ask a question, let's say at the end. And we have this option to modify, and then quizzing, add timeline quiz. And then you get a little quiz right here, and we can ask a question. What is 2 + 2? and we can add different answer blocks in here. Oops, I didn't mean to click away from that. There's more you can do with fine-tuning these quizzing features. Not all of our customers use them because sometimes the learning management systems have better options available, but I wanted to at least show that this is available. So now that we're done with the editing, how do we get this produced? Well, it's really simple. We can go to the top right corner. We can choose export. And here we have several different options, but I'm going to go with local file because that allows me to create an MP4 file, which is usually what we want. And I'm going to call this my box dashboard test. And I will click on export, and Camtasia will now produce my video. And well, in about 30 seconds, I should be able to see it and should be able to show all of you what we created. So let's just drink a sip of tea. And then longer videos take a little bit longer because we did a lot of edits that had to be calculated in. But now we are done. Your media was exported successfully. Let's open up this folder. And here we go. And here now is that video that I just created. It's an MP4 file. I can play that back. It has my audio in it. Hello and welcome to this training video. It has our watermark in it. I can scrub around it. It's exactly like I just created. And now this MP4 file would also be I would be able to upload that to an LMS or to some other system. So at this point, I've reached the end of my little how to create a first video from scratch with Camtasia demo. And I look forward to any comments or questions from Miral and anyone else.
It was a great session. Thank you, Anton. I am a Camtasia user, but I didn't exactly know these details. So it's really helpful. And I guess the attendees are really happy with this explanation. It looks really professional. The video is really professional, but it's really easy to create.
Yeah, we made this in 1 hour. And of course, I know what I'm doing, so I'm fast, but it's possible for people to make videos like this.
I guess I have learned it and I will try after this webinar. But I guess we need to make a couple of webinar sessions because we have to learn a lot from you. So it was really nice explanation and I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So, and we can continue with the advantages of using Camtasia. I can see most of them, but I would like to hear it from you.
Yes, so advantages of Camtasia. Why should you use Camtasia and maybe not some other tool, or what makes Camtasia really good? And I think it starts with Camtasia is made for learning videos. We made software 20 years ago. We started making Camtasia to help people teach and train and document. And because of that, we have a lot of features in Camtasia that don't exist in other video software that help you emphasize things. So for example, the ability to change the mouse cursor around like we were doing earlier, right? That is something that is an advantage of Camtasia that not many other tools can give you. Or the option to highlight the cursor. Or when you record yourself using the Camtasia recorder, the one I showed earlier, you get your screen recording and your video as separate tracks, so you remain more flexible in the editing. Further, Camtasia has a lot of effects that are made for trainers that help you. I showed a lot of them. We make it very simple to add arrows and to add information to your recordings. Or I didn't show you, but I'll show you right now. Sometimes you need to hide information. So we have a really simple pixelation tool you can add to your video if you need to hide things. And all of those help, I think, trainers and teachers on a daily basis because that's what we need to do. Yeah, it helps with the type of videos we need to create. The other thing that's an advantage of Camtasia is the option or the possibility to create elements that are on brand, that look like your company. I did a little bit of that this morning, right? I made this intro in the right colors of blue. I made sure this element here was colored in the Vedubox theme. I added a logo into the corner. And there are a lot more ways you can enforce and enable consistency. Let me show you one thing. I showed you the library already that is part of Camtasia with all of the Camtasia things. Cool. You can also create your own library. So let me show you one I made for one of my clients. And in it, they have their own intros, their own custom outros, their own lower thirds to introduce the speaker. And you as a company, you can say, I want to create my own little library of my own official elements. And you can save that in Camtasia and you can give it to your entire team. So it's really easy for everybody on the team to work consistently if you want to by using the color themes and a custom library. And we have good videos that teach you exactly how to create those elements as well. Maybe the third benefit I think that Camtasia can really offer is it's not limited to training videos, as I mentioned earlier. Yes, we're really good at training videos, but sometimes you need to make a different video. And it's so nice that Camtasia can edit all types of video. Maybe you interviewed your boss with your phone or a colleague and you want to make a video out of that. Camtasia can help you with that. So you are not limited to just PowerPoint or just one style, but you can edit pretty much any kind of videos in this. And I'm always surprised that what people use Camtasia for. Yeah, so that's kind of a high-level summary of the advantages of Camtasia. It's made for trainers. It has a lot of those features in there. It's also still easy to use compared to some high-end tools, which are more complicated. And it's super flexible at the end because you can use it for all kinds of video content. Cool. Do we have other questions?
We can see how it's easy to use. So you showed us the most of the details. We have a question from Mahmoud from our team. I want to share a file with a group and I want to collaborate. Is this possible?
Great question. So let's say I finished editing this video and now I want to give it to you so you can keep working on it and make changes to it. We don't have a way to store this into the cloud and everybody accesses it simultaneously. We don't do that yet. Yeah, and that's often a good thing because a lot of companies don't want everything in the cloud. But so what you can do to give this project to somebody else, I need to first save it. Yeah, and it's right now it's an untitled project. So I will go to File, Save As. And I will put this on my desktop and I will name this Wednesday's video. And when I'm saving it, I'm creating a so-called standalone project. Boom. Yeah. I will show you real quick what that looks like because that is good to know. Hold on. I believe I put it. Here we go. So this is the project, and can I open this? Yes. And this project contains all the data. It includes my recording, it includes the logo, it includes the music I used, it includes some other effect that I used. And now if I wanted to have someone else work on this, I can take this file and I can put it on my OneDrive or I can send it to them and then they can open it and they can continue working on it. But it is not possible for people to work simultaneously at the same video. A lot of things I think would break if people tried that. But it's possible to take the source project and pass that on simply by taking a project file. And then other people can edit it. And then maybe they tell you, hey, I'm done with my edits. And then you can continue the editing. So yeah, I know some companies, they have the workflow. One person does the basic edits and then another one does the polish and the effects, for example. That could be, you could do it like that. Okay.
Okay, thank you for the answer. You have a product called Snagit. Maybe we can give some information to our attendees about Snagit because TechSmith is very popular in Turkey market, but Snagit is, I guess, a little bit more new. So maybe it would be good to give some information about.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you are asking. So Camtasia is a little bit like the big brother of Snagit. Camtasia is very powerful. Snagit is more for quick and informal. let me show you. I'm going to minimize Camtasia, and I will bring up that same dashboard from earlier, right? You've seen this before. And I will go back to the previous page. Here we go. Dip, dip, dip. Okay. Now with Snagit, I can take professional or really nice screenshots, and I can also make short videos. But let me show you real quick the screenshot and image editing functionality. So Snagit, once I open it up, also has a recorder, very similar to Camtasia, and you can choose to make an image or a video capture, or it has this all in one. And I will go quick. I need a capture. I click on the big red button, and I make my selection, click, hold, and drag of the region of that screen that I need to train or teach or capture. And I can choose to now make a photo or a video. Let me take a quick photo, and the photo will open up here in the Snagit editor, and it's, well, what Camtasia can do with videos, Snagit can do with images. So I have a similar set of tools at the top, and if I needed to go and I say, you know what, click here, I can use that to create professionally looking screenshots. I can trim this down. I can, what I really like, for example, is the step tool. This is great for trainers. Yeah. So if I choose the right color that I want, I can say first click on the dashboard, then click on reports, and then click on the calendar. Click, click, click. It's a really nice, fast way to label your steps, for example. Or what I also often have to do is I need to magnify an option that is maybe hard to see. So Snagit has a magnifying tool, and there's lots of different styles. Let me go with this one, and I will simply drag it around what I need to show bigger. And now I can create these kind of offset, you know, pictures that I can then use in Word, in PDFs, in my course. I can add them wherever I need to. And that's it for, well, that's part of what we can do with images. But you can also make quick little screen recordings with Snagit. So you can make a video, walk a user through the information live, and the recording is instantly an MP4 file. And I will show one more thing that is cool for image capture. Let me show you. Sometimes you have information that is long, right? A long scrolling website. Actually, let me get this one. It's in German, but it's longer. That's why I like this one. Okay. And now with Snagit, I can go back in. I can start a new capture. I can make my selection. And instead of doing an image, I can do the so-called panoramic. And that is for scrolling areas. And I can use that to capture everything that is on my screen. So I can take my browser and I can simply scroll down. You don't have to make the sound effects, that's just me. But you can go as fast as you want. And then when you get to the end, you click stop. And Snagit will have taken one long continuous image. Here we go. Of my entire website. And now you can use that to do more edits. So you can, of course, cut, trim, or what I often do with the selection tool. Sometimes I need little sections of a website. So I take that, I copy it, and then maybe I start a new image where I paste that picture. And then maybe I need a logo, which I grab from somewhere else, and I can add that in here. So you can use Snagit also for image editing, image creation, composition of information. It's quite powerful for that. I also made this with Snagit. And if I needed to have some other graphic on there, you can do that as well. So long story short, Snagit is really powerful for capturing images and short videos. And the editing features are really for optimizing your visual information and to make it more clear what you're saying, what you're showing, and what is important. And once you've added something like this, or if you've created a short video, you can save it out as an MP4 file or as an image file. Sorry, this would be an image, of course, a PNG or a JPEG. But you also can send it to something called Screencast or OneDrive. And when you do that, it will upload. Oh, I didn't mean to cancel that. Let me do that one more time. It will upload, and you, instead of just getting the image file, you get a link, a URL. And with that link, you can open that in any browser. You can send that to anybody in the world, and they just click on the link, and they will see that graphic or the instructions that you created, and you can optimize the way they look at that as well. So there's a lot more to Snagit. Maybe we'll have a Snagit webinar in the future, but I think for right now, that was a quick little introduction on what the tool can do and how it's almost like the image, it's like the image comparison to Camtasia plus some other stuff. Yeah.
It's great. And I want to add that I am making these with, for example, 4 or 5 other different tools and screen captures one by one. After them, I put them in a one canvas, blah, blah, blah. So it's the best way to do it in a only one platform, of course. So it's good to know about Snagit. Maybe we can have a webinar session about it too later. So thanks a lot for your time and your energy,
You're
Anton.
welcome.
It was a great session. Now we are going to show our attendees how to upload the video to Vedubox. So before leaving, do you have any additional things to say to our attendees and customers?
Well, first, 3 things. Thank you for being here today and for listening to me. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something. Second, I hope you try the stuff I was showing you today. There's a trial version of Camtasia available, so you can try it out for 30 days and try making your own first video from scratch. And then lastly, if you need to learn more, I mentioned it at the beginning, we have a lot of videos and tutorials on our website. So I would encourage you to also look at those to learn more about what you can use the tool and how it can how it can help you. So that's it from my side. And now I hand it over to Miral and her team. Thanks again for having us.
Thank you, Anton. See you then. Evet, tekrar Türkçe ile devam edelim. Şimdi destek ekibimizden Durmuş'u davet etmek istiyorum ben. O da Vedubox'a videonun nasıl ekleneceğini anlatacak.
Merhabalar, sesim geliyor mu Meral?
Merhaba, geliyor evet, hoş geldin.
Evet, çok güzel bir sunum oldu. Anton enerjisiyle adeta yani bizi büyüledi. Ben de
Evet, çok
zevkle
güzeldi.
izledim. Çok güzeldi.
Sen de kendini biraz tanıtırsan.
Tabii. Ben de Vedubox'ta destek ürün uzmanı olarak çalışıyorum. Anton'un hazırladığı aslında videoları bir LMS sistemimize yüklememiz gerekiyor. Ben de kısaca bu videoları Vedubox sisteminize nasıl yüklersiniz onu çok kısa göstereceğim. Hemen ekran paylaşımı yapıyorum. Evet. Şu an herhalde ekran paylaşımım geldi diye düşünüyorum. Evet. Şimdi ilk olarak Vedubox'tan çok kısa bir bahsedeyim. Vedubox nedir? Vedubox online eğitim sistemidir. Tamamen aslında size özel bir sistem açılışı yapıyoruz. Burada kurum logonuz, yine bir subdomain'inize giriş yapabiliyorsunuz. Yine arka plan görsellerimizi, logoları da dizayn edebiliyorsunuz. Bir video nasıl yüklenir sisteme? Ondan çok kısa bahsedeyim. Şimdi bizim aslında Vedubox'ta rollerimiz oluyor. Admin ve aslında eğitmen rollerimizle videolarınızı çok rahat bir şekilde sisteminize yükleyebiliyorsunuz. Ben şimdi bugün eğitmen hesabıyla aslında bir video nasıl yüklenir onu göstereceğim çok kısaca. Burada eğitmen hesabımız kendi kullanıcı adı şifresiyle sistemimize giriş yapar ilk olarak. Giriş yaptıktan sonra burada eğitimler modülüne tıklamamız gerekiyor. Evet. Burada eğitmenimizin sistem içerisinde hazırladığı eğitimler varsa o eğitimleri görüntülemekte. Hangi eğitim içerisinde video yüklemek istiyorsa örnek olarak mesela ben burada ilgili eğitimimizi seçiyorum ve tıklıyorum. Burada tek yapmam gereken güncelle diyerek ilgili içerikleri aslında bir konu başlıkları olarak eklemem gerekiyor. İlk olarak bir konu ekle diyerek konu başlığımı girmem gerekiyor. Ben buraya örnek olarak başlangıç diye bir konu başlığı ekledim. Konu başlığı ekledikten sonra daha sonra bu konu başlığı altına videolarımızı yükleyebiliriz. Onu da çok kolay bir şekilde aslında şöyle kısaca göstereyim. Örnek olarak tekrardan girelim. Evet. Burada örneğin güncelledikten sonra burada ilgili konu başlıklarınızı görüntüleyebilirsiniz. Tek yapmam gereken burada kaynak ekle diyerek burada birçok tabii farklı türlerde formatlar yükleyebilirsiniz. Bugün video yüklemeyi göstereceğim. Video seçeneğini seçtikten sonra burada tamamen aslında videolarınız kendi alanınızda saklanmış oluyor, Vimeo hesaplarınızda. Burada bir başlık, kısa bir isterseniz açıklama yazabilirsiniz. Doğrudan bilgisayarda mesela az önce Anton'un hazırladığı videoyu bilgisayarınızdan seçebilirsiniz. Ben örnek olarak mesela bir video seçtim. Bu videonun kullanıcılarınızın tarafından indirilebilsin, hız kontrolü veya ileri geri yapma gibi özelliklerini aktif veya pasif hale getirebiliyorsunuz. Kaydet diyerek bu videoyu aslında eğitim içinize çok hızlı bir şekilde yüklemiş oluyorsunuz. İçerikler bu şekilde Vedubox sistemine yüklenmiş oluyor. Bu şekilde ben de bahsetmiş oldum herhalde.
Çok teşekkür ederiz Durmuş.
Evet.
Herkese katılımı için çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Vedubox ve Etki grubun sosyal medya kanallarından bizi takip etmeye devam ederseniz gelecek webinarlarla ilgili oradan bilgilendirme yapıyor olacağız. Çok teşekkür ederim. Güzel bir gün diliyorum hepinize.